Zoe Kravitz is receiving critical acclaim for her performance as Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, in the latest Batman movie. In today's video, we're going to look at Zoe Kravitz. If you don't know that much about her as a person, we're going to look at the history of the Catwoman character within the Batman universe and answer the question, is this performance by Zoe Kravitz the best Catwoman version ever in terms of live action? Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to another episode of The Quick Flip. This is the program where I go over comic book industry news in a short period of time. Please subscribe to this channel and click on the notification button as well. It will remind you when new videos drop. Warning, there are a few not safe for work images in this video. At the time I make this video, Zoe Kravitz is 33 years old. She was born in 1988 and she is the daughter of Hollywood royalty. She is the daughter of the rock star Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet, who's best known as Denise on The Cosby Show. They were briefly married in the 1980s and produced one child together, which is Zoe Kravitz. Here they are pictured together around 2018. Prior to Catwoman, most of her roles were pretty small, such as her supporting role in the Divergent series, the girl that Shameik Moore just couldn't get in Dope, and one of the brides of Immortal Joe in the Mad Max movie, who gets rescued by Furiosa. So as an actress, she was getting steady work as a supporting actress, and she wasn't getting those lead roles at the time, but in 2018, she graced the cover of Rolling Stone and opened everyone's eyes. This risque cover is a 30th anniversary swipe of her mother's 1988 cover of the same thing, which is even more shocking than back in the 1980s. Zoe got another big bump in her career with a 2021 Super Bowl ad doing a ASMR type thing. And the ironic thing about her being chosen for Catwoman in 2022 is that she was rejected for this role back in 2013. This role went to Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Rises. Zoe has been pretty open about this and is on the record of saying her audition was ended because they told her she was too urban. If you didn't know, urban is just another code word for black. She was too black. In other words, you're not getting this role not on merit, but because you are black. It's kind of sad to hear that this happened in 2013 because the Catwoman character has a history of being played by a black woman way back in the 1960s, which we're going to get to in just a moment. So Zoe took up the family business of acting, and she was a pretty minor player in her teens and her 20s, but now in her 30s, she's a leading woman. So the question is, does she have an unfair advantage by being the recipient of nepotism? Before you answer that, remember that Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of famous actor Tony Curtis. Scott Eastwood is the son of Clint Eastwood. Kate Hudson is the daughter of Goldie Hawn. And Bryce Dallas Howard, most famous for the Jurassic Park movies, is the daughter of Ron Howard. So I can't blame Zoe for getting in the front of the line if these other people also had connections in Hollywood based on having famous parents. Now let's take a look at the Catwoman character from the pages of the comics. She was first introduced as just the Cat in Batman issue number 1 from 1940, which by the way is also the first appearance of the Joker, so this is a pretty loaded book. She also appears in issue number 2, and in issue number 3, she upgrades to a fur mask. Some other early appearances also include Batman number 62 in 1950, Batman number 65 in 1951, number 69 in 1952, and Detective Comics number 203 in 1954. And the character has always been a foil for Batman, but there's also been a tension between them that was kind of sexual in nature. Like, hey, she's doing some bad things and she's a cat burglar, she robs people, but he's kind of attracted to her, and it kind of makes for really good storytelling. The character was pretty much put on ice from 1954 to 1966 because her design appeared to be a violation of the Comics Code Authority. The CCA back in the day is worthy of its own video. I'll tackle that one day. The character's appearance in live action in the 1960s Batman television series made fans demand that she come back to the comics, which she soon did. And over time, as the Comics Code got more relaxed, the character seemed to get more and more sexualized. And the tight leather one-piece outfit and the bullwhip became her signature. Is this tapping into BDSM and fetish and kink? Absolutely. One of my favorite runs of the character is the early 2000s when Adam Hughes did some of the artwork for it, where she's less of a cat burglar and more of a mercenary type of spy. I like the version also of Joelle Jones when she took over the character in the year 2020. This is shortly after she made a name for herself drawing and writing Lady Killer for Dark Horse Comics. Taking place in the 1960s, she appears to be just a housewife by day, but she's a contract killer by night. I've been talking about this incredible franchise since I started this channel back in 2015. It's that good, so you definitely should be getting a trade paperback of the back issues. So DC let Joelle both draw and write Catwoman by herself, and she did a fantastic job. Over 8 decades of publication, people have never gotten tired of Catwoman and Batman and their dynamic. It's so influential that it influenced other comic book characters and situations as well, such as Felicia Hardy as Black Cat with Spider-Man. She's a cat burglar as well, and she's there to tempt Spider-Man. Her most famous cover of all time has her kissing Spider-Man in Amazing Spider-Man 606 from J. Scott Campbell. Of course, there's Elektra in the Daredevil universe. It's her job to tempt Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, just like Catwoman tempts Batman. So that's just an example of just how influential that the Catwoman and Batman thing is. Now, let's answer that question I asked a while ago. Is Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman the best rendition of this character in live action ever? Well, let's look at the contestants. There were 3 different women that played Catwoman in the 1966 Batman TV show. Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, and Lee Meriwether in the Batman movie based on the TV show. Eartha Kitt was making history at the time as the first African-American woman to play a comic book character on television. And I think her cat purr was just perfect, pun intended. And then you have Michelle Pfeiffer, who played Catwoman in Batman Returns from 1992. And she set the bar very high. She was a very memorable Catwoman with a lot of great scenes in that film. This came out 30 years ago, and I feel old just saying that. Then, of course, there's the infamous Halle Berry version of Catwoman from 2004. The movie is horrendous. They should burn all the prints. It's a horrible movie. She looks great, but there's just so many things wrong with this film. And then there was Anne Hathaway, who I mentioned earlier, who played Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises from 2013. To me, this one wasn't a very good version. She was too skinny to play the role, and she didn't really influence the plot that much to me. And then there's Cameron Beacondova, who plays a young version of Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, in Gotham. So we get a tease, but we don't get that real full Catwoman effect in this. Then, of course, we have the woman of the hour, Zoe Kravitz, as Catwoman in The Batman from 2022, which we're talking about right now. She's really good in this. The camera loves her, and it's a good start for the Catwoman mythos being rebooted in a very dark rendition of Batman. In all seriousness, I think it comes down to Eartha Kitt, Michelle Pfeiffer, or Zoe Kravitz. And for me, I'm actually going to give this to Michelle Pfeiffer. I think she was the best Catwoman overall. That's my opinion. Please let me know yours in the comment section. In saying that, I do like Zoe as Catwoman, and I look forward to seeing more of her. She's a great actress. She recently just hosted Saturday Night Live, showing that she has comedic timing as well, so I look forward to seeing more of her in the future. Next up is Wicked Wednesday, the new comic book pick of the week. And for March 23rd, 2022, the pick of the week is going to be We Have Demons #1 from Dark Horse Comics. This is a new horror series brought to you by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. They both had strong cult followings, but they became icons with their run with Batman on the New 52, where they introduced the Court of Owls and so much more. It was just an extraordinary run from 2011 to about 2014. There's also variant covers made by Peach Momoko, which you're looking at right now, and Jock. So you got some real heavy hitters involved in this project. So it's a 3-part miniseries about a female scientist who discovers an ongoing conflict between an angel and demons. I'm here for this. Sign me up. Also look out for Rogues #1 from DC's Black Label. It's going to be a raw, gritty story starring Captain Cold as its main protagonist. And Marvel was giving us another Venom Lethal Protector series. Eddie Brock's Venom is always a great story, no matter how many times they tell it. You know the drill. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others learn about the Comic Power channel. And once again, thank you to my subscribers and my viewers who support Comic Power. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.